Yo, ZentroVerted gamer here, getting a little week 1 recruiting done. This is, if you haven't watched any previous episodes and you just jumping in now, is the What If Memphis Tigers basketball program 2007-2008. In the previous videos, we kicked off the preseason 2K show. We also had Tiger Madness, which is a season kickoff scrimmage. I did a little preseason recruiting, which was just basically setting my list. And now I'm just doing a little week 1 recruiting, which is phoning recruits, emailing recruits, setting scouting visits, and setting home visits. I've been playing this game for a long time, so if it looks like it's moving fast, that is not the video on higher speed. That is normal speed. This is just how fast I do it. So basically at the beginning of the season, I'm just looking for, especially in a new career mode, it's really important to focus on mostly seniors. That first recruiting class is pretty important, and since we're trying to do something here at Memphis, it's definitely important. I covered it in a previous video, but you know, we're playing in the CUSA, which is a power conference. John Calipari was just building Memphis into something at this point. So the recruiting classes are really important, and even more so in this 2K8 playthrough, because we've certain players leaving early off. So Derrick Rose is gonna stay for 4 years. Chris Douglas Roberts, I say that right, isn't leaving after his junior year. So my main focus, or John Calipari's main focus, would have been to recruit around Derrick Rose. Like it's pretty much. It was pretty much his team as a freshman, but it's definitely going to be his team as a sophomore, junior, and senior. So we want to make sure we put the right recruits around him in order to build this Tigers dynasty. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, yeah, go check out that What If intro video, and that explains exactly what this 2K8 series is about, what direction we're heading with the Memphis program and where we want to go. Obviously, this first season we want to rewrite what happened. They lost in the championship game to Kansas in overtime. We're gonna try to change that. They also had 2 losses on the season. That was one of them. The other one was to Tennessee. We want to change that. So I mean, the goal isn't to go undefeated. That's kind of a lot of pressure, but I mean, with this team, we're taking away the championship loss. That's the goal, and then we don't want to lose to Tennessee. Definitely don't want to lose to Tennessee. But there are some other teams on the schedule that could possibly give us some trouble, and there are some teams in the Conference USA that could possibly give us some trouble. So right now, I'm setting my training. I like to keep it team focused. Sometimes I use the player training, but most of the time it's team focused. Usually I keep it balanced the first 10 weeks of the season, but like I said, this is kind of different. This Memphis team is kind of built a certain way, so I want to focus. We have some good bigs, but they're kind of like more athletic big guards than they are big bigs. So I want to focus on rebounding, and I want to focus on our skills, since we're gonna be super fast up tempo, up like run, and you'll get the gist of that here in a second, what I'm talking about. But the type of offense we're going to be doing, we definitely want to focus on our ball handling, and we definitely want to focus on our rebounding, because our rebounding is what's going to kickstart those breaks, so we can get up and down the court real fast, especially with Derrick Rose leading the point. For the later half of the season, though, I like to focus on defensive awareness and awareness. It'll be offensive awareness and defensive awareness, consistency and clutch. And then for defense, it'll be low post. It'll be defense, block, and steal. So just the basics. All of those are the basics of defense for every position. And I like to set those instead of specific position stuff, because you want your whole team to get better, not just your post players and not just your guards. So these settings that I'm doing right now pretty much makes the whole team get better as the course of the season goes over. Excuse me. A good caveat to this is how recruiting affects this. So the more away that your coaches are recruiting during the week, that's time that gets taken away from practice and training. So I've learned that if you schedule a lot of recruiting visits like right before a game, especially a big game like a top 25 team, then your team doesn't play as good as if your coaches were there at least the first 2 days before the game, so they can get 2 good days of your full coaching staff being at the university and practicing with the team. So, and then those stats from each coach, you have your head coach and then your 2 assistants, they matter when you do that. So if one of your assistants is really, really good at defense and the other one is really, really good at offense, and they kind of supplement your head coach, and one of them is away on a recruiting trip, then that defensive buff is lost for that game or games that week. So a good rule of thumb is, in this, I don't know how like NBA 2K works with the practice, if that affects it. I think it's just a general percentage increase when you practice on that. But I really like the way 2K Sports handled the practice and training in this, because it's a lot more akin to like what college coaches go through. Like, they have to recruit during the season, but if they're not there and one of the assistants is running the practice, then that's going to be a different practice than if the head coach is there. Vice versa, if it's just the head coach and one assistant, and one of the assistants that specializes in a certain area is not there, then that's one less thing that they can train or do that effectively that week before those games. So always best to have all 3 of your coaches on campus right before a game. Obviously, the weaker the opponent, the more that doesn't matter. As we go, this is just week 1 recruiting, so I know that went fast, but as we go through the season, I'll go over my list, show who my main targets are, and yeah, we'll go from there.
The Memphis Rose Society lists its mission as in pursuit of growing and showing roses at their finest. Memphis basketball coach John Calipari, he has the same sort of goal. With the offense the Tigers run and plenty of talent around him, freshman Derrick Rose promises to bloom into something special this season. Elvis once covered San Antonio Rose, big hit for Bob Wills in the Texas Playboy, as you might remember. That's what the kid point guard could be if he leads the Tigers to the Final Four at the Alamo Dome in March. San Antonio Rose. Jay Billis with an all-access Hummer press pass to Memphis practice.
Great, go! Motion 3! Throw it ahead. Take him, Joey. Take him, Joey. Nice job.
How about now at Memphis? It's a completely different style.
Wide open, attacking the rim on every chance you can. Don't back it out. We don't play backwards. We go forwards. It's a European-based, Princeton on steroids style of play, and it's totally different.
Play him. Help. Where's the ball?
We had Vance Wahlberg come in, a junior college coach, came in to watch us practice, and took him out, a couple dinners, and I said, well, tell me how you play. And he told me about it, and we diagrammed it. And when I looked at it, I'm like, I really like this. I'm intrigued by it. Now, it's my version of his stuff.
Your program has won 66 games in the last 2 years, 2 Elite Eights. You've been at the
No
top.
Final Fours,
Yeah.
no national titles.
What did your friends and mentors and people you trust in the game say when you told them, you know what, I'm changing everything?
They went crazy. A junior college coach would come to your practice and you change everything after all these years. What are you doing? Are you nuts? The way the game is going, it's changing. Anymore now in the NBA or in college, you drive and get bumped, it's a foul. So why play on the perimeter?
Why do players like to play this way?
They feel unleashed. They feel unleashed. Every player I coached at UMass said I held him back. Every one. None of these kids will say that here. They'll say he let you go.
Your offense is unconventional. How do you guard conventional when you don't have to guard conventional practice?
It's a great question. We've got to simulate conventional basketball every day. Double screen down, flex, screen, 5 passes before a shot, screen, 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 screen. Well, we got to be prepared to play that way. Conventional basketball, we don't play it, but everybody else in the country does. So
in chasing the dream of a national championship and with all of the hype that comes around being a number one team, how do you keep the players focused on their job rather than on what's going on around them?
Our practices right now, it's an absolute war. There are no breaks, and we don't stop. It's body to body, mano mano. Every drill is scored, and there's a winner and a loser. And we chart shots and layups to try to get their mind away from March. All right, now we're going on the baseline. You're not coming in here just going through the motions of what you're doing. Got to make it or we go again. Let's go. There's a couple things, Jay. If you can't play, don't come here. If you think you're a screener and a post-up guy, I don't have a place for you. My job is to coach, not to be a cheerleader. They have a job to do, I have a job to do, and hopefully we'll both do it.
So that John Calipari offense that he was talking about, that way of playing, fits the way I like to play 2K8 perfectly. And even more so, like once you start getting certain recruits into that style of play, and then adding in your own coaching style, which I've developed. I've been playing this game, I developed my own way. So I'm gonna kind of like mix what John Calipari was talking about with the way I play. And we're going to get a dynamic offense that's going to be pretty hard to stop. I mean, Memphis is already pretty hard to stop the way they are and just running an up-tempo style. But if we combine those two ways, then we definitely going to have something special for the CPU to deal with. So right here, I'm just practicing shooting guard ISO. It's one of my go-to plays. It has a lot of options, but specifically since that dynamic offense I was talking about is mainly dynamic pick and roll. And so what dynamic pick and roll is a normal pick and roll on what John Calipari just said on steroids. So normal pick and roll is what people perceive it to be is like a guard and a big. So a good ball handler and a good big screener, usually a power forward or a center, sometimes a small forward. In this game, is usually just a power forward in the center, because when you call quick pick and roll, they automatically pick a center or a power forward. So that's normal pick and roll. But what people don't get about pick and roll is that it's not just big setting the screen or either slipping or rolling, or a guard going around that screen and going to the basket. There's much more to pick and roll than that. So you can call pick and roll to have whoever it is you're calling to set the pick to come to the ball. You can give them the ball and you can start the offense from that. That's one difference. Two, pick and roll does not have to be between a power forward or a center. Like guard to guard pick and roll is one of the hardest things to stop. So it works better if you have big guards, but small guards work too, because the defense like really has to make a decision about switching and who they gonna guard, how they gonna guard it. Because if it's 2 guards, you got mid-range, you got slip, you got pick, you got handoff. Like, there's so many other options that opens up when a guard is running towards the ball. You don't know if he's gonna set a pick. You don't know if he's gonna take the handoff. You don't know if he's just gonna run past, go around another screen and go to open space. Like, there's so many different things that can happen when you run guard to guard, pick and roll. So over the season, I'm gonna talk about the dynamics of the offense and all the options involved in running sets and the dynamic pick and roll. So yeah, let's get it.